So the transaction control language, in this we have commands commit, save point, rollback, set transaction, and set constraints. Each one has their own capabilities to hold, to commit, and to roll back to the save point. So these three are very commonly we are using into the transaction, but the other set transaction or set constraints are used in a different scenario, but in a very advanced. But I'm gonna talk to you how these are all working together. So let's move to first. In this scenario, I will cover commit, rollback, save point, and here is commit. So all together in one. So what I did is I began the transaction and I said that now this point you should understand what I'm doing. So update. So I don't need to explain that bit. I'm updating the author table by changing name where the author ID is this, and then I use the select statement, and then I set rollback. These are all I'm using so that we should know in different scenarios how that is working. Then we have second transaction T2 where I am truncating the table, and then I'm inserting, I'm saying save point, giving save point of this scenario, and then I'm updating and I'm giving save point to this scenario, and then I'm truncating and roll back to first scenario. So let's see how it is working. So begin the transaction and select rollback. So see how it is working. So see the Tanya has been updated, and when I'm saying author, running the author this query, so it is it reverted to the original because the rollback, I run the rollback, so that it rollback runs this transaction, and this transaction covering the updates. So this is the rollback. Now come to the second transaction, which began transaction T2. So now I'm using this, saying using commit up to commit and select author book. So what I'm gonna do, I will run this from here to here. So what I'm doing here is I'm truncating the author book, and then I'm inserting 3 records, and then I am creating the save point, then updating, then creating save point, then truncating, then roll back to this first save point, and then deleting some records and doing commit, and then running final. So let's see what happened. So you see that the author, the last query is running and is saying that 1415 is there. What happened is it truncate, and then 3 records was entered, okay, and we created save point, then we updated 103 to set author ID 15 103. We updated something, and then we created the save point. Then after that we set the truncate the table and roll back to SP1. So that means that table was truncated and roll back to SP1. So when it reached to SP1, that means that 3 records roll back. And then I'm saying deleting from where the book ID is 103. This has to delete it. And then I said commit T2. So T2 is, this one is committed. So last transaction was deleting and commit, and then I run. So that means that this record has to be deleted, and it was deleted, and the rest is in the query. Let's talk about the query design to construct select statements. We have previously done so much of select statements, but I just wanted to give you the anatomy of the select statement query. So the SQL commands in the select statement is select first, then from, then where, group, having order. So it comes with SFWGHO. So in this format, we need to remember always. So SFWGHO. So this is the format of this select statement. Up to here, to 1 or 2 are mandate. We cannot skip those, but these are optional depending on your query, depending on your requirement. So the first statement is collecting the columns, and then second from is the tables, number of tables, or where condition is talking about the columns. So let's move how it's working. I created a giant select statement for you. I think it is gonna be helpful. So in this, what I did is I took the employee ID and department, and what I'm trying to collect the years. In this year, who is the employee, their full detail, and their manager. So I said the year. Year is a syntax or the function, which is inbuilt function, which will return year only. So hire date, it will return whatever year is come to you. Then we can say year. So as year. Year means employee year. Then the first name and the last name, and the hire date, salary, and the employee manager. So when you do the query in the employee, I'm just extracting. So you will find the manager as a ID. It's not number. So in your query, you want manager as a name. So in this way, how we can do this? So we finish select with the columns. Now just disable this for time being, and then we have from employee. So we are getting all the records from the employee, all these hire date, first name, last name, salary, up to salary. We have employee, and then I need the manager name. So I created the separate query and added it into here. This is gonna be a little bit tricky or a little bit complex, but don't worry, it's not so complex. You just need to create the query in place of in the expression of from, because we need to get these duplicate column. So in this case, what I did is I run this query where I selected the employee ID and manager. So what I'm going to do is I will take from this employee ID, and I will combine it with the manager ID in the employee, and in the display, what I'm doing is what I'm saying employee ID first name plus last name. First name plus last name is concatenating. You can do it this, so it's separated, and then last name as manager. You can use it as a manager, and then from employee, same table. So see how you are copy using same table for the different situations. So it's just a copy from one SQL, from one table to another table, but it's the same copy. Copy A, copy B. So it's a carbon copy. of employee. And in this way you can do it. So what now? Now when I say EM, I'm giving the, I'm treating it as a table. This is here as it, because from clause is for the tables only, right? So we are using it straight away, this table, and then the select statement for the next duplicate employee table. Now EM has been defined for this uh, table, duplicate table, like this EM, employee as a E. Now enable this, and then if you try to run this, it will give you the records. See this, the manager. So it is showing a little bit abnormal, or it's not abnormal, it's getting all the manager duplicates, because this manager has a number of employee. So now what I'm doing is I'm using where condition. So here we come to the third clause, which is the where condition. So the where condition is, I'm saying where salary is greater than 5,000. So it is filtered up to 5,000. Now what I'm saying is because these are the looks abnormal records, so I haven't joined both the duplicate tables together. So I need to join. I said and E means employees first image of employee dot manager ID is equals to employee ID, EM employee ID. If you remember, if you know, the manager ID is not a different ID. The manager ID is the employee ID. He is the Steven, and he is the manager of the 101 Nina and the Lex. So manager ID is nothing. It's just employee ID. In that reason, we have created the duplicate image. So the manager ID is the employee ID, and then now if we are running, you will get the correct result. Nina and Lex as Steve. See, now the results are looking good. Now you can go back to the group by having an order clause, how we are using. So we are using group by as we are grouping. We can create a group of multiple, or we can group, it depends how you are using it. Here I use, because when you use aggregate functions, you don't need to specify aggregate functions column here. So without aggregate, you can use like sum. If you use sum, you don't need to use salary as here, but the system will ask you to group this, because sum is grouping, right? It's summing of multiple rows. So it will ask you to group. So here it is not making sense because we have different employees. So I am using this. So I'm grouping everything together. It should be grouped. And having is the, after the group we have having. Having is similar to where clause. So when we completed with the group ID, we can when we completed where condition here, and then we provided the group, then after group, if we have further filter, we can use having. So having here is equals to 1999, and order by salary. Order by is your order format. So you can order by salary, you can order by name. So you can say first name. So you can say order by first name. So it says first name because I did the salary into, because it is 99. So in the 99, these are the employees. They have this ID and it's sorted by this, and they have this manager. So overall, this is the select statement we are using here for this. Similarly, I need to extract this record. So what I'm gonna do is I will get all the ID from the table 1, and then I get match the book ID from this book ID, and done. So that record is called I will come back to you how it's joining. So this is the anatomy of select statement using these number of commands, which is select and form are the mandatory, and the rest are optional depending on your choice. So let's move to the joins. So the joins are just grouping or and joining two or multiple tables together, and we have several joins: inner joins, left join, right join, full join, and natural join, and these are all have different behaviors. So let's move to the inner join. This select all rows from both the table, and this is the most common join we are using into. So when we are saying inner, we have created, I have just created select statement with two tables, employee and the department. And what I'm saying is I'm selecting these records from both the tables, and then so from employee is the primary, and then inner join. What inner join we are doing? We want inner join on the second table, which is department. On E means employee dot department ID is equals to department or department ID. So, and then I give the where condition to minimize. So it is the where condition is where the department IDs are 7, 6, 10, 9, 8, and I run this. So the inner join is giving you this scenario. Equal this table, equal this, all the records from this table, all the records in this table, with which satisfying the conditions depending on your conditions. So conditions are these. So whoever data is satisfying this condition will come into this. Now come to the left join that returns all the rows of the table on the left side of the join and matches rows from the table on the right side. It is same like this. So you have left table and the right. So it dominating to the table B. So it is getting everything from A and matching with the table. So this is the left join. So let's say left join, and you will see. So the left join is getting, we have null data, so it is getting everything, and after that it will get everything from the department. So I did this like that. Now come to the right join, that it is just opposite to the left. It extracts all the records from the right side, and then getting the records from the left side, matching right. So it dominating to the B is dominating over table A. So it's right. So let's go right, just change and say okay, the same query. So now you can see that it is extracting the records first from the table 2, and the null, it getting the nulls as well, and then it goes to the table 2, table 1. This is the right join. Now come to the full join. So what is full join? Full is join with the combination of left join and the right join, both the tables. So it's just giving like this scenario. It is getting everything from here, then the left join and the right join. So it is saying that full join. So see, almost the records are same, but it is not much difference, but provided you have what data you are using. So it gives you in different scenario, like you have a student table and you have course table, and there you can find the much different. So natural join. So the natural join is very similar to your inner join. It is just, but we are not using any joins in this. So the natural joins, I'm just keeping it for you to copy, but this is the natural join, and we are not using here this. We are naturally joining the table DDO dot departments, and we are saying D, then D E. So it is the abbreviation of this department, abbreviation of department E. So it just synonyms. You can see synonyms of the employee and table. So it copied everything. So here what I did, I just taking the table from using from command, and I'm saying where condition, because I know that the two joins are together. So I will add one at d dot id department id is equals to e dot department ID. So if you remember in my previous video, we have created relationship for these two tables based on this IDs. So it's here. Now if we run this, you will see almost same brackets, but it's just a natural. So it will retrieve all the records based on these two conditions which we have provided. If you remove, we're gonna remove this, so it will give you use records, which is 40 records. So everything. So it's just a natural. If you have two tables, if you know keys or relationship, you can go ahead. It's just 2, 3, 4 tables. Sometimes I do 4 tables, 3 tables as well, depending. So this is all your joins. So the next topic is aggregate functions. So aggregate functions are inbuilt function from SQL, and we can use it to get the appropriate records, whatever we needed for the query in return. Inbuilt functions are simply functions. They are requesting, or they require the set of values which we are sending to, or we are providing, and then it do the calculation inside, and then it return the output. So let's, for example, here is max price. So the maximum price of this table is the 566, and the result is 566. If you are saying minimum, min price, so it's gonna give you 40. So here you can see that there are a lot of functions I added. It's just a modification, and I wanted to take it to the extended level or the advanced level. Most of the time we are talking about these aggregate function, which is max, count, average, minimum, and sum, and they are using with a combination of group or having classes. But these are the functions we are sometimes we are using, sometimes we don't use, so it just rarely used, but I'm gonna talk about these as well. So this is the beauty of my program, or beauty of my classes, that I am taking it to the another level. I try to give you extended knowledge, whatever is I can do it. So let's start with these one. Already you have max and minimum. We will talk about the average. So let's move to the average. So if we are saying average, so we say that AVG average, and then bracket open, and then we are saying salary, so and closing. So at a time it required one expression to, or one value to, set of value to input or to get in, and then based on that it will return the result. So the result should be average of the salaries, which is 8060. So this is how we are using average. So now if we are using sum, so it will sum everything, sum, and sum all the records in the table. So this is what we have table, and it will give you sum of all the salaries. Now come to the count part, So the count is, this part is little bit, I'm gonna discuss with other classes as well. So the first count is with the asterisk. It's simple count we are using, and we are saying I need all the records or number of records, need to know the number of records of this table, and it will give you 40. That means we have 40 records or 40 rows into the table. Now come to the count next phase, which is where clause. This where clause I'm using for filtering the data, and it is saying 34 records. Why? Because phone number should not be null, and we have some phone numbers, those are null. So in this case we have to keep in mind that null will be excluded here. Now come to the distinct part. So you saw now the next part of the count is columns. Here you saw you did already with the asterisk, that means everything, but here we are taking specific columns or specific field. So now we are saying count phone number, so it will give you 34. And now if we are saying count distinct, we have distinct as well, we are saying distinct, it is giving 34. What it is doing is it is excluding the null values. So because 6 records are null in the phone number, so it will return the phone number without the null values. It is not understanding or not taking the NL. The distinct is also doing the same thing, but just in case if this is including, this will never include. This is guarantee will not include. It distinct, it means that it duplicate. Oh, sorry. It give you guarantee unique numbers. Here you can get the duplicate numbers also to be counted. Let's say for example 2 numbers are same, it will count 2, but here it will distinct. So 2 number, it will drop 1 number and it will count as it is. So this is the difference between the distinct with a column and without the column. Now move to the next portion, and using the different aggregate functions with the counts. So you saw the distinct. Now we are going to use the count big. Count big is this one. So the count big is, this is the count big, that returns the number of unique non-null values. So the count big does not support aggregate function subqueries in an expression. So the let's move and see how it is working. So it is doing in this way. So what it is doing is it is counting total number of records, count big. So count big is using 830, okay, and 830 with the subtotal in these 3 years. So this is what exactly big count is doing. So the count big is a deterministic function when used without the over and order by clause. count big is non-deterministic when used with the over and order by clause. Just remember this. So this is the big count. If you understand this. Now come to the next point, which is the group by year. So now what we are doing is the same query, but we are taking it as a group. So we are saying that this added the years. So 2012, 13 and 14, we have number of records as 140, 52, 408, 270 with this total sale. So see what it is doing. Big count is return the number of unique non-null values. So that's why we have that number of records available in here. So now come to the next, count with over by clause. See, it's here having an over by clause. So we are gonna move to the next. So we are going to take the table department and employee. So the department name is this, the count. We are saying count department ID over partition by EP department ID as employee per department count. So what it is going, it will do the partition on the department ID. So if you have department 10, 12, 30, it will do the partition on that. So the count will do over, it is counting, but it is doing sub counting. So sub counting, you understand that the grand counting and the sub counting. So it is, then we are saying joins, we have used the joins. See, the joins are here. And then where condition I use, this where condition is where EP dot high date is not null, high date should not be null. And I am using with CTE as, just take it like that. I will talk to you later on. This is just simply, it will come with a function. So I'm just taking it how you are creating a simple program with the with clause. So the with CT as, and I'm using these query, and then I'm saying that select asterisk from CTE, because this is returning everything from here where the employee per department count greater than 5. So employee per department count is this. So what it does is, it is run this query and then take it as a column. So the CTE, if you go to the CTE have these columns with this column as well, where we are saying doing sub counting. So let's go and do it. And you can see that finance have 6, purchasing have 6, sales has 6, shipment has 6. So these are the partial counting, over counting. So every department it is taking as a count, separate count. So this is very useful sometime when we are using sub counting, or when we required this, sorry, I'm really sorry, this kind of situation. Now come to the count with having clause. So having, you just learned that what is having. So the having clause is, we are using count asterisk and then group by first name, because count cannot be grouped. It is required grouping. So other than the aggregate function, everything comes into the group, you know that. So this is comes into the group. We have only one field, and then I'm saying having count greater than or greater than this. So let's say, so it is getting greater than 2. So the Alexander is 2, John in name is 2, or Karen name is 2. So this is how we are counting. trying to know that how many users have same name. Now come to the next point, which is the checksum aggregation. So the checksum is here. Mama. So the checksum, this function returns the checksum of the value in a group. Checksum ignores null value. The over clause can follow check aggregation. So aggregation, when you are checksum aggregation, it will follow the over clause. Remember this. So you have this select a statement, and I'm gonna run up to here and see what are the results, and then we will talk. So here is the result. The first one is just records, and the checksum aggregation the casting is just converting the price into the integer and from the table, so it gets the 636 records. Then I did the update. See, I did the update, set price 80 where book ID is equal 80. I run this and I wanted to run the checksum aggregation again, because checksum is always working with the updates. It will find out the value has been updated, changed or not. So in this 630, the second one, and then it updated, and this one has run with this 636. So now you can see that total records are 80 because I said 80, it run in this way. Now when we run second time, what it's gonna do? The second, because we updated something, we need to check. We say that 50, and we are running back again the before the update and after the update check sum. So see, 636 was before update, and then I did update, and then after that when I did again run the check aggregation function, it is showing same 542. That means it is indicating there are changes happen. So it's just checking the changes of updates from in your column or your data or in your table. So checksum is using this time. Now approx count distinct. Mama. So the approx count distinct is this returns the approximate number of unique non-null values in a group. So remember, we have this, like I created select count ID from this, and the records are these. So count and the customer ID. We can switch here to here, no problem. But this is group by customer ID I did. So it is here. Now come to the approx count distinct. So I'm using same value and taking it in this way, and I'm saying this. So in this case, the first one is customer ID and second is approx count ID. So it is approx count ID is returning the IT total count from this, from order group by customer ID. Now let's run everything all together and you see. So 6.1, you will see not much difference, but this is overall give you the difference when you are running huge data, because this is when you are running count with a huge data like 1 lakh or 100 million, 80,000, or more than that records altogether, and you are running this count, it will stuck. It will slow down the system, and your query will be slow. But approx count distinct is doing very fast. That's why you are not getting no difference here. So everything is based on the data, how much data you have. The more you have data, the more efficient this count, approx count distinct will work, because it is eliminating the count, the nulls. It is not eliminating the null, it eliminating the null, and it is giving the quick results. This is the already we talk about the count big. So count big is 830. It says all. The count big has different scenarios, like all and distinct. So we can use distinct as well. Distinct is definitely, it is eliminating the nulls and many other non-data values. It will eliminate and it will return the count big. So count big, just now above we have checked what is the count big. Now come to the remember, this is it is good if you are doing the sub counts. It is group. Now come to the grouping. The grouping. So the grouping is there are two, grouping ID and grouping. So the grouping list is aggregated or not. Just simply grouping returns 1 for aggregated or 0 for not aggregated in the result set. Grouping can be used only in select, list, having, and order by clauses when group by is specified. So it is very dedicated to. So let's see grouping and group ID. So this is the sum and this is the quantity, and I'm running with the group by with roll up. So let's see it's here. So the grouping is done with the quantity. So here you can see the quantity is showing null. Why? Because grouping is based on it is checking the nulls. See how it is cutting off the records where it doesn't find anything on the quantity and it says 1. So it cut off here. Now let's move to the bigger part, where we will use the group ID. Here I use the biggest query, and I ran it because I wanted to show you the difference. So we are using the count and we are using the group IDs. So the count and the group IDs are together are used. So group ID is simply can be used only in the select and having, order by, or group by specified, all. So the group ID must exactly match the expression in the group by list. So it is the group by list, it should match the exact function. So if we are using here, this is the columns we are using, the group by should be the same. Now let's see how it is done. We have done some inner joins and then group role, and then after that we have used the group IDs. So see the account and the job title and group level and employees. So see we did the group ID on the title and the department. So what it is doing, it is on the title, on the department, it is cutting off, and it is saying that one department has completed, so one group is completed. Now come to the finance. the finance is the 3, and it is cutting off here that the finance grouping is finished. Then the sales and the shipment, and third is null, so it is always showing abnormal results. So based on that, you have accounting 1, which is accounting manager, public accounting, and then with accounting the title is null, and then we have the title mm, is finance. So in the finance we have 5, accounting, and finance manager is 1. So in this way it is group ID is distinguished between the sub counting. So it cutting off the grouping by the department name, so and the job title. So that is the group ID. We have here group ID, and then we come to the, yes, one more part. So if you are if you wanted to use having group ID, with the having, so group ID is equal to 0. If you're saying this, let's say for example add this into this query, and then we are saying this, so it is, oh my, so you can see that employee count, so it is 0. That means groupings are 0. It become turn, it taking everything all together. If we are giving the group ID as 1 in having clause, so in this, see, it is giving the job title as null, group ID 1 1, because these are all 1, and the number of employees accounts. So see the difference, the having cloud we are using that where the counts should be is equal to 1. So it is counting only one, doing the one grouping only. And in the above query, you remember we were doing the counting with the number of records. So this is the difference here. So the STD EVP and STD EVP and STD EV are similar, but they have different scenarios. Like with the P, it returns a standard deviation for the population for all unit price and quantity. It is here. See, I was trying to run this, and you can see the unit price and the quantity. So all the population of for all unit price, and it is with the distinct, and it is without the distinct. So these are the differences you can find out here. Let's calculate in a different way, run this query and see that what is the difference. I took the year, and then I took the quarter, and then I said sales. So see here, the sales code and the STD, this population deviation, it is here. So when you are using mathematical changes, when we are using mathematical calculation using your SQL or your query, you are using this, and you will then come to know that how important they are. See how it is when I'm using this, using my over, so I'm just doing subtotal of the over the order date. So it is subtotal, and the quarter also, it will be it's divided by sub, and then it is giving so the cutoff is 22 2012 third quarter. If there are many other quarters also, so it can do, but I am taking these years with the customer ID of this. So in this case, you can see that how it is changed and how it is returning the records. So string aggregation is an aggregate function that takes all expression from rows and concentrate them into a single string. See, string. It's very interesting, and you will find useful when you are collecting all the records together. So see here, this is the simple string aggregation convert and varchar, because it's a long value, so that we are doing what exactly it is doing. You can see that all the name, see the name are joined together in the table. So the first name, all the first name in the table are joined together and come into the one row. See, it is useful. Sometimes it is very useful. I don't know where you can use it, but it's gonna be a very useful. But now you are saying that it is coming on one row. I want it to break. You can do the break by using your this command, which is result to text. When you are saying result to text and then you are running this query, it will come in this way. It is one record, but it is giving you, because I use the character 13. Character 13 means it break. So every name will break and take a new line. Now come to here and see, I took the name and I took the hire date. The first name, last name, and the hire date. So in this way you can use it. But if you are not using text, this is and you are using the grid, so in this case it will give you one record, one row, everything will be on one row. And SQL Server is doing in this way. So if you need, you can use the text column, and then it will return with the text. Now come to the where. The first column contains the variance of all distinct values, and the second column contains the variance of all values including any duplicate. See here, we have this. Come to the grid, we don't need. So this is with the distinct variant, and the second is variant, simple variant we are using. So with the distinct command and with this distinct is removing duplicate, removing blanks and everything, and it takes everything. Now come to this query which I have built for this where, to understand exactly what it is. Here we are using where total. So in this we are dividing, or we are doing subtotal here of each quarter or each year. So the variance is here because it is showing null somewhere, so that's why it is not giving us the because it is divided, so the variance is not returning anything. So the variance most of the time working with the over, where we are dividing, or we are working on the subtotal or subtotal in this. So if var is used on all item in a select statement, each values in the result set is included in the calculation. Var can be used, it means var can be used with numeric columns only. Null values are ignored, so each time null values will be ignored. So that's the thing. The where is a deterministic function when used without the over and order by class. Deterministic is the exact and it is non-deterministic when specified with over and ordered by class. So that's the difference in here. So the last query, you can see the returns the statistical variance of the amount for each quarter in a calendar year. Notice that the order by and over clause orders the statistical variance, and the order by of the select statement order the result set. So that's the overall difference when you are using where and where with the over. So that's ending here with the aggregate function. I hope this one gonna be useful for you when you are start working with these kind of aggregate function instead of that. These are also very useful, but they are very commonly frequently you can use, but these are required your specific logic with a specific requirement if you have. I hope this session or this module up to here we have completed. I take a long time because I need to explain everything, but in the next I think we're gonna do little bit quick because every basics we covered already. So have a great day and stay tuned with the next topic, and I'm gonna come back as soon as possible. Take care, have a great day, enjoy the rest.